Picture this. The year is 2060. You hop in your flying car and jet off on that epic world tour. You land in a bustling city, ready to soak in the culture, the food, the vibes. But there's a catch. By 2060, Islam is projected to be the world's largest religion. Even in 2023, with over 2 billion Muslims, being part of this faith can be complicated. So buckle up, travel enthusiasts. Today we're diving into the top 10 countries with Muslim travel restrictions in 2024. Hit that like button and subscribe. It helps more people find the video and makes my mom happy. Let's go. First up on our world tour of interesting travel experiences is Slovakia. Now, Slovakia is a beautiful country, nestled in the heart of Europe. Rolling hills, charming castles, all that good stuff. But for Muslims, it's also a land of contradictions. You see, Slovakia has a tiny Muslim population. We're talking less than 0.1% of the country. And lately, Slovakia's political scene hasn't exactly been a haven of tolerance. Add to that a few high-profile incidents of Islamophobia, and suddenly, a visit to Slovakia might feel less like a relaxing European vacation and more like walking a tightrope of cultural sensitivity. Next, we ascend to the majestic Himalayas, home to Bhutan, the land of the Thunder Dragon. Known for its stunning landscapes and emphasis on gross national happiness, Bhutan seems like a paradise. But for Muslims, the path to happiness can be a little more complicated. See, Bhutan is deeply rooted in Buddhist traditions. The Muslim community in Bhutan is tiny, and they often face challenges practicing their faith openly. It's not outright hostility, more like a constant low hum of cultural dissonance. So while Bhutan's stunning scenery might call to you, be prepared for a journey that's as much about navigating cultural differences as it is about conquering mountain passes. From the Himalayas we journey south to the tropical island nation of Sri Lanka. Known for its pristine beaches, ancient ruins, and delicious tea, Sri Lanka has long been a tourist hotspot. But in recent years a shadow has fallen over this paradise Islamophobia. While Sri Lanka has a significant Muslim population, they've become increasingly marginalized. Sadly, this isn't just paranoia. There have been real incidents of violence against Muslims in Sri Lanka, fueled by a wave of nationalist sentiment. So, while Sri Lanka might still offer picture-perfect beaches, the situation for Muslims there is a stark reminder that even in paradise, intolerance can rear its ugly head. Chapter 4. India, a divided subcontinent. Next, we travel to India, a land of vibrant colors, rich history, and, well, deep divisions. India is home to the world's second-largest Muslim population, yet they often find themselves caught in a complex web of social and political tensions. Islamophobia in India isn't exactly a new phenomenon. It's been simmering for decades, fueled by a potent mix of religious nationalism and political opportunism. Imagine a society where hate speech against Muslims is casually shared on WhatsApp, where politicians openly court Hindu nationalist votes by demonizing minorities. And it's not just talk. India has seen a surge in violence against Muslims, from mob lynchings to targeted attacks. Traveling to India as a Muslim means navigating a minefield of potential prejudice. It's a country of breathtaking beauty and profound contradictions, but one where the shadow of Islamophobia looms large. Chapter 5. Central African Republic, a humanitarian crisis. Our journey takes us to the Central African Republic, a nation grappling with poverty, instability, and a horrific humanitarian crisis. At the heart of this crisis is a brutal conflict fueled by religious tensions. Armed groups terrorize communities based on religion. Mosques are destroyed, homes burned, and innocent people killed. Hundreds of thousands are displaced, living in overcrowded camps. Traveling as a Muslim here is about survival. Religious freedom is a right that must be defended. Chapter 6. China, the Uyghur Crisis. We now travel to China, a global superpower with a not-so-subtle authoritarian streak. And nowhere is this more evident than in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, home to the Uyghurs, a predominantly Muslim minority group facing a chilling crackdown. Imagine living in a country where your every move is tracked, your phone is monitored, and your face is scanned by ubiquitous surveillance cameras. This is the reality for Uyghurs in China. The government claims these measures are necessary to combat extremism and terrorism, but the evidence tells a different story: a systematic campaign of cultural erasure and religious persecution. Traveling to Xinjiang as a Muslim, especially if you look even remotely Uyghur, is like stepping into a dystopian novel. From the chilling realities of China's Xinjiang region, we travel to Angola, a country on the southwestern coast of Africa. Angola is a nation still recovering from a long and brutal civil war, and its Muslim population is relatively small. Now, Angola isn't exactly known for its religious tolerance. The government keeps a tight leash on religious expression, and there have been reports of discrimination against Muslims. But here's the glimmer of hope. Despite these challenges, there haven't been widespread reports of violence or systematic oppression against Muslims in Angola. Traveling to Angola as a Muslim means being mindful of the restrictions, of course, but it also means encountering a community that is resilient, that is finding ways to practice their faith despite the challenges. From Angola we journey to Japan, a land of ancient traditions and technological marvels. Japan's Muslim population is tiny, a fraction of a percent. Think a sprinkle of wasabi on a giant plate of sushi. Historically, Japan hasn't been known for its embrace of diversity, but open displays of faith, not so much. Imagine explaining halal food in a country obsessed with sushi and ramen. But Japan is changing. The 2020 Olympics sparked efforts to welcome visitors of all faiths. Mosques and prayer rooms are appearing, and interfaith dialogue is growing. Being Muslim in Japan involves cultural exchanges and curiosity. We now venture into the shrouded world of North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, where information is tightly controlled and secrecy reigns supreme. Getting a clear picture of religious life in North Korea is about as easy as finding a Kim Jong-un impersonator at a karaoke bar in Pyongyang. What we do know is this: North Korea officially guarantees freedom of religion. But, and this is a big but, the government also promotes a state ideology that emphasizes self-reliance and loyalty to the regime, which doesn't exactly leave a lot of room for alternative belief systems. So, while the exact challenges faced by Muslims in North Korea remain shrouded in mystery, it's safe to say that expressing your faith openly in the Hermit Kingdom is not for the faint of heart. Our final stop takes us to Myanmar, a country grappling with political turmoil and a horrific humanitarian crisis. The Rohingya, a Muslim minority group in Myanmar, have faced decades of persecution and violence, culminating in a brutal military crackdown that has been labeled a genocide. Imagine being denied citizenship in your own country, subjected to systematic discrimination, and living in constant fear of violence. In 2017, the military launched a campaign of violence against the Rohingya, driving hundreds of thousands to flee across the border into Bangladesh, creating one of the world's largest refugee crises. Traveling to Myanmar as a Muslim, especially as a Rohingya, is a journey fraught with danger and heartbreak. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the complex realities faced by Muslims in different corners of the world. Remember, travel isn't just about snapping selfies in exotic locations. It's about engaging with different cultures, understanding their complexities, and recognizing the challenges people face. As we've seen, for many Muslims, travel can be about navigating a world where their faith is often met with suspicion, prejudice, and even violence. It's a reminder that freedom of religion is a right that's constantly under threat, and that we all have a role to play in challenging intolerance and discrimination. So, the next time you plan a trip, take a moment to learn about the situation on the ground, especially for minority communities, because travel, at its best, should broaden our horizons, challenge our perspectives, and inspire us to create a more just and equitable world for everyone.